Let's go for it. All right, hello everyone. Welcome to another Crystallize live stream. Today with Håkon, we'll be discussing. Hello, Håkon. We'll be discussing about the new feature of Crystallize, that is authorization in the catalog API. For those of you that are familiar with at least querying data from Crystallize, if not posting and using the core API to just do whatever, creating items, importing whatever shapes, etc., etc. So I guess, Håkon, this is a step where we have been discussing a few times in the past, just adding another layer optionally for authorization in the public catalog API, so the public-facing one. Yeah, and
exactly. We've had a few requests in the past where someone have had content within that was accessible through catalog and search that they might not want to reveal to the public. That could be things like special price that you do, like maybe you have stored the discount coupon codes in Crystallize. I think we did a live stream where we use that as an example. And if you have all the discount codes in Crystallize, you probably don't want to expose that.
Expose it, yeah.
No.
So yeah, that's a solid case, I guess. Not exposing this stuff to everyone.
Exactly. Yeah. So the feature we launched last week enables you to protect your public-facing APIs and making them non-public anymore, essentially. It adds a layer of authentication, and it enforces you to pass a header on each request to the API to be authenticated. Let me just share a screen to demonstrate how it works real quick. We made a small page to tell you how it works. Go to crystallize.com/learn to find this page under developer guides and authentication, where you will see the typical APIs you would be talking to. Search, catalog, and orders, or search and catalog are public. There's no authentication. Orders are sort of private. You need to pass your own personal account or one account access keeper to access orders. But if you want to enable authentication for search and order, there's a quick video showing how to do it. I can just show it as well. And then adding a token here related to each request done to search or to catalog. Let me use.
Should we mention here, is it that if I activate the tokens for the public-facing API, does this mean that it's automatically tied to the search as well? So I will need to pass the search as well, or can I, pick if I want only authentication in catalog or search?
Good question. You can pick the one that you need. Let me show you. You know what? I'll just do window sharing instead. Give me 1 second. Here. Right. So I'm sharing the furniture tenant which we always use for demos. If you go to settings, there's this new menu here called API access. And in here, you have a section for catalog and a second one for search. And you can then switch on basic authentication, which is the one that we're recommending. Doing a simple token is probably going to be what you want here. It's the fastest. Well, it's as fast as the open one. It's actually a lie. It's faster. It's equally fast as this one. But then you can also choose the same one that we have for the orders API if you want. But this is a bit slower because it needs to do a lookup on the user that's doing the request. Now, we recommend doing basic authentication because this is tied to the tenant and not the user itself. So it's all going to be the same for
it
anyone.
Makes sense if you're looking to do something like a validation, the item validation through the service API. It makes sense to have something like this there.
Yeah. So let me show you real quick as well.
One thing that I noticed is that the API access, essentially, not sure how, if I want to call it a tab, if you go to the admin panel real quick.
Right here.
Yeah. So the API access, let's say tab under settings, it's available only if you're an admin in that tenant, right? So
that's true.
Yeah. Just for the people that may be looking for it, if they're not admins in their tenants, then they probably will not be able to see that.
That's right. Yeah, we don't actually show you this menu if you're not an admin. So
yeah,
it's a good point. Right. So
awesome.
if you look at the furniture here, I'm gonna what can we do? Let's just go catalog, whatever. We had some furniture. We can remove them. So what we'll do path, something, blah, blah, blah. Present language, and we want to get game, for instance. Now, this doesn't provide us anything. It doesn't give you anything. There's nothing here. I guess what we can do is we'll go to the boilerplate, find a plant. This one, for instance. Copy the path and look at how that looks in the catalog. And this is the typical way to do things in Crystallize. So now it's not protected. So anyone can go into this URL and try it out and retrieve all of the information that's in on this plant. So if I now go ahead and enable basic authentication here, you'll see if I press play, you see invalid static token, essentially meaning we didn't pass a token. So we're no longer able to retrieve the data with it. And if you try to refresh the entire page, you'll see that you're not getting the playground either. You're not seeing anything here now. You need to pass a static auth token here to view it. And if you want to do that in Chrome, there's some plugins. There's also that for Firefox and other browsers too, but you don't have to. If you go to here, PIM and catalog, we'll go to the shop and plants and do this one, for instance. You can still use the catalog button here to look how it looks in the catalog. Now, so what happens here, and the reason why this works is that because you're within PIM and your user has access to, if your user has access to the static token, we will just add that to the request, and then you'll be able to see it. However, if you go and choose the fast, but still a bit slower than the other ones with access token pair, which we don't recommend, but it's still possible, you'll see that every GraphQL call will be reset with, there's no proper token pair here. And that's because, well, and we don't have access to those token pairs. Those are only personal for you. And there's no way for us in Crystallize to retrieve a token pair issued to one of the users. So that's one of the reasons why we recommend this one, but it's simply because it's tenant bound and it's definitely the fastest, and it should be secure enough for you.
Yeah, pretty easy to use as well. So yeah.
And you can choose to also do this for search if you want. You probably want to do both, but not necessarily. So for now, let's just do both. And essentially, I've got the boilerplate running here using Nuxt. Excuse me. And if I refresh this page now, you'll see that, well, of course, it's not able to fetch this page now because we protected the API. If we go back and enable for both, we should be able to see just fine. Just want to verify. There we go. Works like a charm. So if I turn this back on, say, I did that twice. There we go. So now this is the thing you need to do on your end whenever you turn on basic authentication, because then your boilerplates can no longer target the APIs directly. Well, in theory they can, assuming you just add the headers, the proper headers to the request. But the whole point of this is to make a secure request to the API, ensuring that you don't expose things in Crystallize or your static tokens or access key pair. So in this case, you want to proxy your requests through a different API, which will add the required header, and ensuring that you don't pass data that you don't want to have the clients to see in the end. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to share some Visual Studio Code thing instead.
So would that be something that, all right, let's say that I'm running next. I'm not sure what you're going to be showing now, but let's say that I'm running next. So I have an endpoint in the API section, and then whenever I want to request data from Crystallize, then I go through that endpoint, and then an endpoint essentially just attaches the token there. So it's not reflected directly in the front end, and then it just sends back the response.
Exactly. That's exactly the point here. This is the service API, which is we've added some examples how to do that there. And there's two endpoints. You can see it's under Pages API in Crystallize and Search and Catalog. So they're very much the same. What they're doing is they're enabling you to call, instead of targeting api.crystallize.com, you can target your service API URL /API, Crystallize, Catalog, or Search. And it will just proxy the requests through Catalog or Search and respond back with the data. Now, in order to do that, when you call Catalog or Search, we need to add the headers. And that's something we do in Crystallize utils. I think it's here. Yeah. We're now using the access token secret here. I think we're using so this is where you would be adding the proper headers to send. So this would be a static token place if you use that one.
Nice. So you set it up depending on which security level you chose, basically, right? So
yeah, exactly.
You adjusted a bit.
Yeah, and if you wanted to, the whole reason here is for us to prohibit certain things from the response. Then you could do things like, well, you want to delete our data, and then maybe essentially this would be where you add your own custom things. That
so just make sure you don't share all fields of the data that you don't want to share.
Yeah, you probably want to keep name, but maybe you have something in components or pricing that you don't want to share. So that's where you want to do that for sure. And of course, we can't really give you a template for what sort of how to protect your content, or sort of how to filter them out, because that's basically your stuff. I mean, you have your own shapes, your own models, your own structure, and it's up to you to filter out that at this point. So
nice.
In the boilerplate, so this is the Nux boilerplate. I can show how that works too. You just have to point the which one am I showing? Is it a new one? Let's see.
Yep.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this is Nuxt.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So in Nuxt, reveal in sidebar, there's a lib graph index file that we're using to talk to Crystallize, and here we have typically this is the typical endpoint to call. This is a tenant identifier. Then you would add catalog or search to that to fetch. But if you wanted to do a proxied request, you have to target the service API in this case, or your own service API. I'm going to that one. And now your requests are being proxied using the service API, which means we should be able to see the requests. Let's see here if I do have that. And now requests. Here, cannot property catalog of undefined. I don't know why we're getting that. Well, what I didn't test with this. I could do the Next.js mode, and I'm pretty sure I did it there. It's the same stuff here. But of course, you don't have to use a service API. You can use any kind of API, of course, to do this. But we've got some boilerplate code in the service API, which would be helpful, I guess. So let me share. I wish I could quickly jump between sharing windows. I can't.
Feature request.
Feature
for the
request,
platform.
Yeah, for sure. So this is the previous Nuxt that we had running. Now it's Next.js instead. Same URLs still being used. Just gonna wait for my computer to realize.
Feature request. Another one.
Feature request. I want a new computer. Let's see here. Come on. Takes a bit of time when we share screen at the same time, but essentially, while it boots up, it's going to add, of course, a bit of latency to the requests. So previously, you were targeting the Crystallize APIs directly, and we pride ourselves in being really fast and not really having a lot of latency. What's going on here?
Did you? Oh, okay. Maybe it's.
Maybe you know what? Maybe the service API is down for some reason. I didn't check that.
Oh,
that's a good point. I haven't tested.
Interesting.
Let's see. No, it works. It's up. Okay, I think
that the most important part here to keep is that essentially you can opt out in filtering out further down what data you want to expose. That's the important part, and I think that's the valid, the valid case for using this kind of security, additional security at least. If you're trying to, not trying to hide something from, exposing it essentially in public. I guess you could do that even without tokens, like doing your own semi-proxying in the service API. But it's, always good to have additional security if you need it.
Yeah, definitely, sure. This with proxying was always possible to do. So
for sure. Well, we've seen cases with that as well. At least I have. Yep. Awesome. So I'm not sure if you want to try to troubleshoot, or should we just tell people that there is?
Yeah. We can definitely troubleshoot, because you know what? I just realized what was the problem.
Oh, you did? Okay. Share screen, show the people, or otherwise they will not believe it.
Oh yeah. It was because I had the wrong token set.
Nice.
So this is the one that we recommend to use, but the service API has been set up to use the access key pair. So we'll switch to that. Okay, I think this is better. Let's see if it does anything.
And again, this doesn't change if you follow this process. It doesn't change like the idea from the front end side of at least the front perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Wait a minute. There might be some other things here, but I think I just want to showcase the whole point of this is to see that you can get page data, which you are getting now. So now with this thing here, we're able to get this page. It's able to load the data it needs, and if we switch to the basic, we're not able anymore, and that's the whole point of this. Takes a bit of time because it's failing. Here we go. Couldn't find this page. Something was up. So in that case, this one will do it. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. With this feature, you can now protect your APIs and tailor make the responses that the clients receive. So you should be able to, based on the context a bit, based on where the users are requesting things, you can then filter out the things you don't want out.
Awesome. Thanks for showing us, Håkon. And what can I say? Hope you feel better.
Yeah. It's just a flu. It's just a flu, but it is affecting my voice.
Yeah. It's perfect for live streaming. Deep voice. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining. If there's any questions regarding the accessibility, or not accessibility, but access token feature, just reach out. If you need any guidance on how you can make that work, like Håkon showed, just reach out in the community. Someone from the team will jump for sure. Thank you for joining, and I wish you a great day. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.